Dr. Muthulakshmi Reddy was the driving force behind the establishment of one of the biggest cancer institutes in India. Dr. Muthulakshmi Reddy was the first Indian woman legislator, a campaigner of women's rights, and the driving force behind one of the biggest cancer institutes in India. She was also a driving force behind major improvements and additions to the Children's Aid Society, for which she was honored with the first active honorary secretary and organizer. Born in 1886 in a middle-class family in Tamil Nadu, Muthulakshmi got her early education in a co-education school. She passed her matriculation through private studies and was coached by her own father. Despite stiff opposition from the society, Muthulakshmi became the first girl student to be admitted into a men's college, which was Maharaja's College, Pudukkottai. She was also the first and only woman candidate in the medical college in 1907. She also became the first woman house surgeon in the government maternity and ophthalmic hospital. As the only woman, Dr. Muthulakshmi had a roaring practice. She married Dr. Sundara Reddy and gave birth to 2 sons. Muthulakshmi's life came under a great influence of Mahatma Gandhi and Dr. Annie Besant, who changed her viewpoint on life. Their works inspired her to devote her time and energy for the uplift of women and children. She worked for women's emancipation at a time when it was still rare to find a woman in public life. With this, she also devoted her time to serving poor women and children. In the year 1926, she attended the Paris International Congress of Women as a delegate. In the coming years, she gave up her practice in response to a request from the Women's Indian Association to enter the Madras Legislative Council. She was associated with Women's Indian Association from 1917 and took an active part in its activities. With serving poor women and children, she developed an interest in orphan children, which led her to build Avai Home in Madras in 1930, under which she used to give free education, clothes, and proper diet to orphans. The institution is still providing education and vocational training to many orphans. Her book, My Experience as a Legislator, has recorded all of her services in the legislature. The Kasturba Hospital is a monument to her work and efforts in passing the resolution to establish a special hospital for women and children. At her request, then government opened a children's section in the maternity hospital. It was due to her persistent efforts that despite opposition, she brought in the anti-polygamy bill. With this, the bill for the suppression of brothels and immoral trafficking of women and children was piloted by her and was passed in 1930. She set up a separate hostel for Muslim girls and provided scholarships for Hajjans Girls Institute. She also recommended the government to make the minimum age of marriage to at least 21. Under the Women's Indian Association, Muthulakshmi started the Cancer Relief Fund. At the age of 68, Muthulakshmi became the first chairperson of the State Social Welfare Board. She has brought about many improvements and addition to the Children's Aid Society, for which she was honored with the first active honorary secretary and organizer. She was the chairman of the All Asia Conference of Women till 1935. She was also the 5th All India Women's Conference session, which was held in Lahore in 1930. Throughout her life, she was connected with many educational and health activities relating to women and children. With this, Muthulakshmi was also the editor of Sri Dharma, an official organ of Women's Indian Association from 1931 to 1940. Muthulakshmi had many firsts to her credits. Muthulakshmi was the first woman to get into a total men's college, Maharaja's College. Muthulakshmi was the first and only woman candidate in the medical college 1907. Muthulakshmi was the first woman house surgeon in the government maternity and ophthalmic hospital. Muthulakshmi was the first woman legislator in British India. Muthulakshmi became the first alderwoman of the Madras Corporation in 1937. Muthulakshmi was the first woman chairperson of the State Social Welfare Advisory Board in 1954. Muthulakshmi was the first woman deputy president of the Legislative Council. Thank you.